She is power. She is love. She is hope. She inspires. She is many journeys in one lifetime. She is the people, an individual, a never-ending story of the beauty of possibility.
I nearly didn't get into medical school, I put it that way. I got rejected from a couple of medical schools.
I was a treasury officer, went through the ranks in treasury.
You find the whole reverend thing geared towards the male.
So I had to learn now how to find my voice. I think the other thing for me would be hard work and continuous self-improvement.
My faith is everything.
Be a part of She Inspires this and every Wednesday on the I Am Drive on Sunny 88.7 FM, 8:30 AM and live on Facebook same time. Also join in on Sunny TV every Wednesday at 8:30 PM. She Inspires is proudly brought to you by She Inspires.
And Lord has said, it is not what we do for our children, but what we've taught them to do for themselves that makes them successful humans. My inspiring woman on She Inspires today left her first love of marketing and public relations to address the silent struggles of young boys through the organization Junior Shapers Africa. Now, how is she using this organization to shape the attitudes, the mindset, and the values of young boys? Join me and my guest for today on She Inspires, Mrs. Ethel Marfo, also known as Boysdocta Ethel. I'm JJD and would like to acknowledge our sponsors who support us with She Inspires. Duffy's Health and Beauty, also Glassell Company Limited. Suraban for this outfit, Royal Peaches Glam for my makeup, Ajile Jewelry for my accessories, also Hotel Kasirari, the providers are set each week for She Inspires, Mianan Foods and Eddie's Pizza. Well, Boysdocta Ethel, I am so delighted to have you on She Inspires. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm excited to hear this. And let us first tell us about your background in marketing and public relations.
Okay, so I'm a people person. So very early in life, I knew that I had to be in a space where I meet people. I communicate a lot. That's my trait or my nature. So once I finished with secondary school, I quickly applied to GIJ to start with public relations.
Which senior high school were you?
Ola Ho. Yes, Ola Girls in Ho. Yes, so right after school, I had already spoken to a mentor who was in VRA. He was a public relations officer at VRA. So I asked him, what do I have to do if I want to get into that space? He said, go to GIJ. So I went to GIJ, did public relations, but I realized along the line that you needed some marketing background because they intertwine. You need some marketing, you need public relations to communicate effectively and to understand the brand that you have, So I did marketing at GIMPA, a degree in marketing at GIMPA. I worked with it in a few corporate institutions for over 15 years before I said goodbye. I did client relations, media relations, anything around marketing and PR. And it's still my joy to do it on a consultancy level.
Okay.
But
so it's still showing up in there.
You see, but I found my calling, my true calling, and I'm happy to pursue it,
It's so sweet to watch you as you talk about finding your true calling and pursuing it. And I want us to talk about that today on She Inspires. I want to know about that period of your life when you got hit with, I think I want to address male youth needs. Can you tell us about that period when it hit you and you felt I need to do something about this?
Yes. So along the line, when I resigned from my corporate job, I had 3 daughters, very young daughters, and I used to struggle with doing their hair. So I thought of a business. I have entrepreneurial skills, traits in me as well. So at the time
you were resigning, it wasn't to go into a JSA?
Not straight out, not straightforward.
Okay.
Sometimes God will use something to spark your calling.
Okay.
So I ended up opening a niche salon for children, for girls. And whenever parents brought their daughters, boys also came along. I didn't do hair for boys, but boys also came along with their sisters. I noticed some character deficits in the boys. The girls were all put together, very focused. I had a mini, very mannered. I had a mini library in the salon the girls will just come, pick up a book and start reading to get themselves occupied whilst they wait for their turn. The boys will be all over the place. I mean, turning my salon upside down, you know. And so I was complaining, and a mother said, "Oh, as for boys, dear, that's how they are. Just leave them." I said, "No, I refuse. I want to change the status quo or the narrative. I refuse to accept that that's how boys are, because I have a brother who was brought up well, and he wasn't all over the place like this. So I think that it's about training, it's about mindset orientation." And so I started thinking carefully about how society has raised boys to be, you know, and I said there should be someone who should be ready to change the narrative, the status quo. Boys shouldn't be known as macho, always, you know, destroying things, you know. So it started from there. And so I started having sleepless nights. And around that time, we had issues of boys causing mayhem in cities like Kaswa, Medina, Sakawa, robbery. It was on the high. That was in 2015. So I had sleepless nights about it. And that sparked my interest in helping boys. Yes.
Interesting you mentioned your brother, and her brother is Jerry Adjorlolo. Yeah. Let's talk about how you saw your parents raise your brother such that you could see other parents with your boys and think, no, I didn't see my parents bring up my brother this way, and he's quite put together. He's not all over the place. How did you see them raise your brother?
Okay, so number one thing I would say was we were privileged to have our parents raising us as a team. You know, you don't see mommy doing something or raising us by herself, or daddy also raising us. Like it was a team. If daddy refuses something and you go to mommy, it's the same thing mommy will tell you, you know. So we saw them working as a team to bring us together. Everything they did was planned, that this is how we're going to raise our children. And with my brother, what I saw was a lot of mentoring from my father, which I realized a lot of boys I encountered in schools lacked. Fathers don't have time these days. They've taken on the provision cap only. Yes, so my father was there to teach my brother hands-on skills, how to be responsible around the house, and how to treat us, the girls, you know, respectfully, you know. So I noticed that my father treated us, the girls, respectfully, and my brother did same. Exactly. And there's this interesting scenario. My father is someone, he's a pastor, he was a reverend minister, but every Saturday evening he'll call for our clothes to iron because he didn't want us to be late on Sunday. Wow. So we'll all take our clothes to the ironing board and he'll iron, and Jerry was like an assistant. When he irons, Jerry goes to hang it. So Jerry is so comfortable doing same for his family. He doesn't, in some homes, a man will put his clothes down and expect the woman to iron it, but Jerry is a servant leader, you know. So mentorship went on very well in our home, and I think that every boy deserves that. Even if they don't have a father in their home, I am offering that service through great mentors for young boys. In some homes, all the burden is left on the woman, and that's even causing a lot of problems in marriages where women are working equally, just like men. They also go to the office, come back late, but a man, because of our patriarchal culture or mindset, a man is still expecting a woman to come and cook, you know. So my father was hands-on. If mommy wasn't there, he will cook. So Jerry can cook. Jerry can fix himself.
Jerry's getting a lot of mentions when SheInspiresz. Hello, Jerry.
Yes.
If you're watching.
Yeah, so Jerry can fix himself. And so those were the things that I saw my dad do.
How did you eventually start setting up Junior Shapers Academy to actually tackle this issue that you had observed?
Yes. So first of all, I prayed about it. I wanted to be sure that this is something that God wanted me to do, so that if God wanted me to do this, whoever I talk to will not kind of give me, you will not start something and get all the support at once. I've really struggled to get here, but at least when you pray to God, He makes it easy for you to contact the right people to start with, you know. So first of all, I involved my husband, you know. I let him know that this is a burden on my heart, and I think that even though we don't have a son, it's something we should give back to society. We should invest in boys, invest in good men. For our daughters, for instance, and other girls, we have 3 daughters.
3 girls.
Yes, so I feel a strong urge for us to invest in boys. Already he's an entrepreneur, but he does a lot of charity, that kind of thing. So it was easy for him to understand where I was coming from. Then after that, I spoke to a few men that I had studied for a while, ex-colleagues, people in church, and I said, something, I have this vision of men mentoring boys. I didn't see that intentional boys to men transition where men are bringing boys up intentionally. I didn't see that in our society. So I sold the idea to them, and they bought into it. And so we had like a 10-member team of men who came on board, and we launched it on the 4th of December 2015, yes.
And as you talk about struggles in trying to build a Junior Shapers Academy, I want to know, were there ever a few people you told I want to do this and they were like, Boysdocta Ethel, you are a woman, you don't have a son. I mean, why don't you leave this to a man to handle? I mean, a man can handle this better. They've been a boy before. Did you ever encounter such remarks along the way?
A lot, Jennifer.
A lot?
Yes, because there were mothers with boys who were very cynical. They were like, is it because you need a son, that's why you're doing this? Is it what you know about boys?
Yeah.
Those, I'm just sharing with you those kind of questions, and what do you know about boys and all that. And I said, it's a calling. Sometimes through or out of your insufficiency, God can let you be a blessing to others. Yes. So there are people who are serving needs in society that they don't even have that privilege. Let's say that someone is championing an HIV cause, helping HIV patients, but he doesn't have HIV. It's just a burden God has laid on his heart to help people with HIV. So that is what God has laid on my heart. So yes, I had those comments, and there were mothers who had boys and will not attend my program.
And I would really want us to talk about that, how receptive parents have been.
Out of Ethel is a mother of girls. What is she talking about? And all
she doesn't know what
exactly. But when God has called someone, who are you to, judge the person's abilities? And so with time, I proved them wrong. I proved to them that it was not a 9-day wonder thing. It's been 6 years, and next year will be 7. Yes, it's been consistent. I've been very passionate and hardworking towards seeing progress every year.
I'm curious about the name Boysdocta. Boysdocta. I mean, how did that come about? Did you discuss with some friends who said do this? How did you get the name Boysdocta? Why that name?
Okay, so during the COVID time, everybody had to be creative with content, and at that time I was doing my program online, on virtual, on Zoom, because I couldn't meet my boys like I used to meet them. We used to meet at Christ the King every month, but now we couldn't meet anymore. So I was doing a lot of online, and a program was coming up, and I needed to generate content so parents can buy into the program.
Okay.
So I was there with my daughters, and I usually bounce things off them. And so my first daughter was, Mommy, you're not on TikTok. I mean,
how old is your first?
She's 12.
She's 12.
So, Mommy, you're not on TikTok. TikTok is where you can, generate a lot of content, is freestyle and all that. And I was looking at her, I was like, what's she talking about? Before I could say Jack, my daughter had opened an account for me, and they helped me to execute my first video. Yes, so they just asked me to dance, make some steps, and they would put down the information, come to Mommy's program, blah, blah, blah,
Wow.
So we discussed what name am I, because at TikTok or the TikTok community, you have to use a catchy name. So we're bouncing off names, and they're like, looks like you are getting good at this boys thing. Let's just call you Boysdocta.
Boysdocta, that was it for you?
Yes.
But how people been receptive towards the name?
It's
catching on pretty fast.
Hilarious, people were like, oh, interesting, and so finally people just adapted to it. Yes.
So let's talk about how Junior Shapers Academy is actually shaping, boys to be purposeful men and responsible fathers in our society.
We started as a club. We meet monthly. It was just a once in a month meeting whereby we touch base with the boys, inspire the boys. But
so
along
you get
the
your
line,
first set of boys from, were they from your friends, church?
yes, it was all over, and I was very good at social media, you know, because of my marketing and public relations. I know how to put information that would convince you, that will persuade you, that
make me bring my boy.
Exactly. So that's one trait that I have. So I'll tell everybody listening to me that you may find your calling later, but what you're doing now could also be very impactful. If you're working for someone, do it well, because when you start your own, you will need all those skills. So my marketing skills, my PR skills have never gone waste. I use it very much in terms of advocacy and marketing what I do. I advertised on social media for people to bring their boys. I explain, you know, you have to create awareness. Why am I doing this? Because there's rape, there's soaring rate of divorce, you know, there's so much abuse going on, and these are perpetuated by men. If you don't want your son to be part of this, let's get the raising right. So I had this campaign called Raising Boys Right, you know. So yes, I advertised a program for people to bring their children, and we train them. We graduate.
How many people did you start with?
I started with 30 boys.
30 boys for your first?
Yes.
So were you mostly interacting with the mothers or the fathers who were calling to make inquiries about the program?
I was interacting with the mothers.
It was more of the
mothers.
Okay.
And that is what actually also drove me to do this for boys, because I realized how many mothers were struggling raising boys all by themselves. Jennifer, if you do a survey, if you go to a classroom right now, about more than 50% come from single parent homes. Even if there's a father at all, he's you know, uninvolved. He's the busy father type who is not always there. So it's a burden in our society. Yes.
I want you to help us imagine how a session, if you can bring us into how a session is like. For instance, maybe your first session or the second session you ever did, but how was a GSA session like? If I brought my boys to the Boysdocta Ethel, how's a day session like with you?
Okay, so it's not a day session, because if you want to train children, it's not a one-off thing. So it's a full year, and then we graduate you, and then you become an alumni. Okay, so let me tell you how it works.
Yes.
So the first quarter, when your son registers for our program, the first quarter, he's taken through values, intensive 3 months of understanding what values are, why it's essential for you to have values as a man. You know, the next stage, the second quarter, we teach you leadership, ethical leadership that makes you understand people. Okay, that lets you empathize with people. So we teach them ethical leadership, the styles of leadership, you know, and at the end of the day, you should know what kind of leader you are becoming. The third phase of the program has to do with entrepreneurship. We take them through entrepreneurship. So we have a boot camp at the end of the year where we take boys to meet entrepreneurs. We bring people to also talk to them about their mental well-being, you know. So it's a whole year. You have to sign up for a year to see results. Yes, so that's how it works. After you graduate, you become an alumni, and you are part of a team of boys who are very personal development conscious. Yes, it doesn't end there, you know. Yes, and so I teach our boys, when they come, we do some cooking sessions, we do hands-on things. I tell the boys, your hands are powerful, use them.
They can work.
Yeah, exactly. Use them for yourself, use them for your family, you know.
This is SheInspiresz, and we're with the Boysdocta Ethel, and I'm enjoying this session with her. We have to go on a short break, and we will be right back. Stay with us right here on SheInspiresz.
Me broni na de na wanu me drama na che wanu pe wanom oko me so ya no pa bia ansana me ko menwuma so no manya de pa bi. Let me share it with you. That feeds Ohima feminine mixture. I am a secret ba ko pa aboa me. Boso me bia me menses e bakama abra menti ya obia e flow mami me wo ye chi no na me menses no e maye me sha ase no that feeds Ohima feminine mixture no bankasa with no pain. So that feeds Ohima feminine mixture. The best yes you.
Open a did with Duffy's Health and Beauty Ewo East Legon American House Kumasen so ye Bank Tech Hospital enye map him for Sankra to a FDA ashishe mwajia to muse eye.
Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow said I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright.
Welcome back from the break. This is SheInspiresz, and we want to take the time to acknowledge our sponsors who support us so we can bring you SheInspiresz every week. Duffy's Health and Beauty are into 100% natural skincare products and feminine products. You want organic feminine products, speak to our friends at Duffy's Health and Beauty. Also, thank you to Hotel Kasireri, who constantly partner with us by providing us with this lovely location or this lovely set. Also, Mianan Foods, they're into food processing and packaging. Glassell Company Limited, anything construction, speak to our friends at Glassell Company Limited. Royal Peaches Glam, thank you for my makeup, Sarah Ban. I love this elegant outfit. Also, Ajile Jewelry for my accessories. And finally, Eddie's Pizza. Thank you to all of these sponsors. And now back to Boysdocta Ethel. You're quoted to have said that for so long, society has only been schooling boys and not raising them. I want you to shed some more light on that. And you've been with boys, I mean, it's been 6 years. You've been with them, taking them through training, presented opportunities for them to learn some skills here and there. I want to know also, what would you say are some of the everyday silent struggles boys go through that we may not even notice if we are not looking and paying attention to?
Okay, so society over the years have emphasized so much on education, academics, you know, so that is why at a point there was Beijing conference for girls to be at par with boys when it comes to education. We forgot that as we are empowering girls, girls will develop a high appetite for self-development. When a girl is empowered, when a girl masters herself, she will not take rubbish from anyone or any man or anybody because she has developed herself. And so we have a lot of men or boys who were not trained to develop themselves. It was more of academic development. So that is where we have the missing link, you know, right now, and it's affecting marriages, it's affecting institutions, because we have this woman who is up there with her values, she's principled, she knows what she's about, and we have men who only have academics and they have not figured their lives out very well. So this is where I come in, that look, society has been so focused on academics for boys, and that's not fair. We have to look critically at their personal development. What boys really lack, or their silent struggles, are, number one, father absence phenomenon. It's a big issue that they can't have someone to even, you know, model. You know, it's a big issue. So we have women having to deal with boys with their teenage crisis, identity crisis, and it's not easy on these women. I meet a lot of them. I get a lot of calls every day, and I have to refer them to a good uncle or a good mentor who can help their son or advise their son. So it's a big challenge. Boys are discovering themselves and they have nobody to look up to, you know. So that's number one. And number two is the fact that we've trained boys to feel entitled. So, you know, things that a boy can do to survive, he wouldn't do because he has this idea that it's a feminine thing. So at my program, we demystify that this is a feminine job thing. That's one thing. When they come into the program, quickly we demystify it. We tell you can be a good cook. You can be, you know, you can use your hands.
My dad made the best oil rice.
So these are the issues. Raising a boy to feel entitled. In today's world, you can't raise your son like that, because mind you, you have invested in your daughter, and so you can't raise your son to go and meet whose daughter and feel entitled, you know. So these are the major challenges we deal with. And because of that, our program is tailored in such a way that we have people who come to talk to them about their mental well-being. You know, some boys haven't figured themselves out emotionally. When he cries, he's teased, he's ridiculed by his mother or father at home.
People say bemensu.
Yes, but he's human. He has every right to show emotion. Because we let boys hide their emotions, it's affecting marriages. So a man is going through a lot. He can't even tell his wife. He's afraid to be teased, or he's afraid he will not be, considered as a man, But a true man, a man with strength, is a man who is able to seek for help. That's who a true man is.
And you talked about demystifying some of these issues we've had to deal with in raising boys in our society. Is it easy to demystify with the boys when they come for the sessions with you and with other male models that you pull together to assist them?
You know what makes it easy for us? I use a lot of videos, because children believe in storytelling and pictures and videos. And so I use a lot of videos of men who have got it right, or men who have bad experiences during their childhood, and they have developed themselves, or they got a good mentor to help them get out of their bad situation. I have stories of men who didn't have good upbringing and how they have turned out. So the testimonies are there for them to see. So I put it to them and I ask them, do you want to end up like this man, or you want to end up like this man who has got his personal development figured out by himself and all that. So storytelling, pictures, videos
makes it easy to channel the message through.
And parents don't have that luxury to be showing their children videos and stuff. So, but I put it together in a very educative way for the boys to catch or get the importance of having these good skills.
And they're excited to be learning, to be doing the cooking with you and all that.
It's fun.
Wow.
Yes, you won't believe it. I've had programs with boys where we made pancakes at a fair to sell, to raise funds. I mean, I make it so fun. I make it so fun. Yes.
So how do you see JSA in the next 5 or 10 years with how you started off? What's your vision for it in the next few years?
It excites me when I hear such a question, because it just lets me picture the future. So for me, I am looking at a full-fledged academic, personal development institution for boys, whereby when boys vacate from their academic work in school, they come to us for a personal development top-up or an upgrade. So it's going to be a well set up organization. Right now, I run my programs on hybrid, that's online, and boot camps. I rent places for my boot camps, but in future, I like it to be an international institution where African boys from around the continent come to Ghana. It will be a tourism attraction as well.
That would be amazing.
Yes, they come to Ghana to get raised, on how to be, a very responsible, high-value man for the high-value women we are raising. Yes.
And how can women support men on this cause, support boys on this cause? Because, the rights of women definitely is all out there, but how can women also now support men so that because men also need to be protected, they have rights as well. How can women partner with men to achieve this goal?
So we can start at home.
Start at home.
It's not happening in homes, and I'm very sad that, in our homes, the mothers focus a lot on the boys, on the girls. They train them, hey, when you're going to get married, you have to prepare, you have to do this. They don't tell the boys those things, that when you marry someone's daughter, you shouldn't talk to that girl that way. The way you're talking to me now, watch it, because you could do that to someone's daughter. Our words, our language, whatever we are saying to the boys is what they will take on in future, so we can start at home. Everything, society starts from home. So I want to encourage all mothers to play their part. Mothers have a big role to play. Aunties, yes, big sisters,
all the
please.
Big sisters too.
Yeah, let the boys also know that, hey, when you get married, this is how to treat a woman. Just as you tell the girls, when you get married, this is how to treat a man. Yes.
I also wanted to ask why it was essential for you that Junior Shapers Africa was built on godly principles and Christian teachings. Why was that so important to you?
Okay. First of all, I'm a Christian. So naturally what you believe in is how you grow your business. But it's my interest to know that I have Muslims coming to our program because we have Muslims attending Christian schools. When I was in secondary school, we had Muslims. In university, we had Muslims. So I don't necessarily enforce the Christian thing there. I am more focused on values,
The values.
moral values, which I think it's important for everybody to have.
board.
Integrity, diligence, discipline, hard work. Those are the values that I think it cuts across. Yes, so I'm a Christian, so definitely we have more Christians in the group, but we have Muslims too. But for me, I am for all boys. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from. We need good men. And whether you're Muslim, Hindu, whatever you are, we need you to be a good man for tomorrow's children. Yes.
Well, so I know you have a boot camp coming up, and I'm sure that any woman or any mother or father watching us or listening to us as SheInspiresz would definitely want to have their son experience what you do with boys at Junior Shapers Africa. Can you tell us more about the upcoming boot camp you have for boys?
So thank you for the opportunity. So our upcoming boot camp is from the 13th of December to the 17th of December, Monday to Friday. Those who are coming for camping will come on Sunday night. Okay, so
it's a stayover
for those who can stay. Yes, yes. The advantage with staying is that we get to help your child with time management. We monitor his etiquette. We correct certain things on the spot as and when we see it. Yes. So what's going to happen at the camp is that we are all going to focus on one goal, a personal development goal. You decide that with your parents, you bring it to the camp, and we're going to show you how you can set goals to achieve that goal in 2022. And you'll report back to us how you have achieved that goal for an award. Okay, so it's about personal development upgrades. It's something that has been missing in the raising of our children, their personal development. Parents are always concerned about what marks did you get in math, what marks did you get in French, but we're not concerned about helping children to grow themselves, polish on their personal self-development.
So it's open to boys from what age?
From 8 to 15.
8 to 15. Oh, it looks like I have to wait a while. I was going to ship my son to you.
And we'll be taking them to meet entrepreneurs. They will have executive mentorship. It's going to be very fun and educative as well. Yeah.
So, I mean, with all the work you've done with young boys over the years, I wanted to know what would be your top 3 lessons for parents, teachers, caregivers.
So my top 3 lessons I would say is don't lump boys and girls together and just give them a fit-all kind of training. Okay, boys have been raised to internalize their emotions, and so you find that a girl will come to you telling you so much about what she's going through emotionally, but when you find out from a boy, he may hide it. So teachers and parents must be extra vigilant, extra patient with getting information from boys.
Okay.
Boys have a way of, just shelving whatever is going wrong with them, but it's really eating them up. So parents and teachers must pay attention. About roles in our homes, don't stereotype. Let the boys and the girls do the same chores, rotators. The boy can do the cleaning in the kitchen, the girl can wash the cars. Don't stereotype roles if you want to raise a high value man in future, because he's going to marry a high value woman. Okay, and let's orient our boys that these are the habits they need to cultivate to have a good marriage. We don't talk about marriage with boys. We always talk about marriage with girls. Let's develop or cultivate a habit of preparing tomorrow's husband and tomorrow's father.
Tomorrow's husband and tomorrow's father. Oh my, I wish we could go on, but our time is up. I want to say thank you for joining us on today's edition of SheInspiresz. Ethel, Boysdocta Ethel, it's been amazing having you on, and thank you. It's an amazing job you're doing with our boys, and I know that we're going to look back and say, wow, this woman changed a great narrative in a country through Junior Shapers Africa. So we're going to support you the best way we can right here on SheInspiresz, because together together we win. Men, women, together we win. Great lessons there from Boysdocta Ethel today on SheInspiresz. Thank you for joining us and staying with us on today's episode. And we can't thank our sponsors enough. Mianan Foods, Hotel Kasireri for our lovely set, Glassell Company Limited, Duffy's Health and Beauty, Eddie's Pizza, Royal Peaches Glam, and Saraban provides with my clothing every week on SheInspiresz. Also, Ajile Jewelry for my accessories. Check them out at shopajile.com. Thank you all for joining us on SheInspiresz today. Catch us same time next week. I am JJD. Bye-bye.
SheInspiresz.